All right, let's finish playing the video. Here we go. This is what he got. This is what he got the shitstorm for. More Milo. And again, hopefully your kids are not. And I mark this episode as explicit to respect the fact that I know I have a lot of parents who listen to me with children. So here we go again. Here's the rest of it.
Station to me.
And you know what? I'm grateful for Father Michael. I wouldn't give nearly such good head if it wasn't for him.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I can't handle it.
It's funny because
what is wrong with you, Ben?
Ben gave me some homework on you, Milo. He gave me a few videos to watch to brush up on my Miloisms. And one of the things that you said in one of these clips was that transgenderism is the new, frontier of rights. My wording is bad here, but it's the new frontier of social progress, and the next thing in line is going to be pedophilia. And yet here you are talking about how, look, some of these kids that get diddled by these priests, I mean, it's a good thing for them. They're getting this love. And now they are also getting
You're misunderstanding what pedophilia means. Pedophilia is not a sexual attraction to somebody 13 years old who is sexually mature. Pedophilia is attraction to children who have not reached puberty. Pedophilia is attraction to people who don't have functioning sex organs yet, who have not gone through puberty, who are too young to be able to understand the way their bodies. That is not what we're talking about.
And Coulter?
Sure, granted.
You don't understand what pedophilia is if you think that I'm defending it, because I'm certainly
No. I'm not saying you're defending it. I'm saying you're walking the borderline.
That's not what you said.
But let's discuss this defense. There's a defense mounting for Milo, and it's based on the idea that he wasn't speaking of pedophilia. He was actually speaking of ephebophilia. And so a lot of people are getting educated today on what ephebophilia is, as if that's better, right? As if that's better. So essentially he's saying, I'm not talking about molestation of children who don't have, who haven't hit puberty, or who don't have, as Milo describes it, as sexually functioning organs. And he uses that as a justification to say, I'm not really talking about the bad thing. The bad thing is to mess with children who aren't sexually mature. But it shouldn't be a bad thing for us to mess with children who are sexually mature. I'm sorry. But if that's a distinction without a difference. That is to draw a line there. To say a 13-year-old is okay if they're sexually mature. And people are using that to defend him. I'm sorry. Are we really willing to defend Milo based on that distinction? The fact that he's not talking about a sexually immature 13-year-old, he's talking about a sexually mature 13-year-old. I'm sorry. Fuck with one of my... Listen. I could care less how sexually mature and predatorial, whatever the conjunction of that word is. I don't care how sexually mature a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old. I'm quite happy that we have thresholds, at least in most states, that are 18 and older. And to lament the fact that we impose these arbitrary systems of whatever, whatever phrasing he wanted to use, to lament the fact that we have this threshold that we as a society said, okay, we want to protect our children until they get 16, I believe in Georgia, and 18 in most states in Florida. To lament that, why lament that? Why draw that distinction? Why make it? It makes no sense whatsoever unless you want this batch of children that you can prey on. And the fact that you have a lot of conservatives who previously endorsed the idea that gays and lesbians, the LGBTQ community, were by definition pedophiles. Those same people are now standing behind Milo because they think this is fake news and an attack on Milo and therefore an attack on conservatism. And yet you can listen to this clip and listen to this distinction that he's trying to make and excuse it as though, oh, he's not talking about pedophilia. He's talking about ephebophilia. And what? He's now a martyr. And then you have the flip side of people who are trying to defend him and say, oh, well, he was actually discussing the fact that he was a victim. Actually, no, according to him in the same clip, he was the sexual predator at 13. But let's see that argument that he was the victim. That does not, what the hell kind of world do we live in? That does, because someone was a victim does not protect them from being condemned for becoming a victimizer. How many times do we see victims of any type of oppression or any type of abuse or anything? Victims can become, they don't always, thankfully, but they can themselves become victimizers. And so should we sit back and say, oh, this is okay because he's really a victim and he's discussing how he was a victim? He's a grown ass man at this point advocating on behalf of ephebophilia, if you want to be precise with your language, not pedophilia, but ephebophilia. So if they're 13 and they're sexually mature, it's okay.